Alright, what's up guys, Brad here, and we're going to be looking at some of the Theorycrafted decks I made. So first we're going to go in order alphabetically of the classes, kind of similar to when we reviewed them. So let's start off with Demon Hunter, which I did Big Death Rattle Demon Hunter. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but basically the idea is you get the Death Rattle stuff. We're taking actual use of Death Speaker Blackthorn, because this card really seen a little bit of play but not a ton. And then on top of that, so you got stuff like, you know, we'll go with Death Rattle stuff first because it's the early game, right? So we got Tusk Piercer to draw anything, then Razor Borer pulls it from our hand, Razor Fen Beastmaster pulls stuff from our hand, Citizen Paddler pulls stuff from the deck. Decent one to actually hit also, if we can get Razor Fen Beastmaster to pull it. And then, obviously Death Speaker Blackthorn, we've got Double Loot Hoarder, Death's Head Cultist for some heal, drawing cards, stuff. And then the big one is Korok the Blood Rager, which you're going to see a common thing, that I think this is probably the best card in the set, if not, you know, top 3 at minimum. So that's really, and then also Talon Ford Ring, which, you know, draws our highest cost minion, which is going to be either an Ancient Voidhound or Pit Commander for the most part. But if you're able to pull, you know, Talon, Korok, and then whatever else, I mean, that's a pretty insane turn by itself, right? So then the other cards, we got some filler type, not filler, but just stuff that is just solid in general. So that would be our flanking maneuver, being able to take out anything large twice essentially. So we could take out 2 smaller, like 4 health or lower guys, and then we could take out 1 larger guy that has like 5+ attack, right? Or 5+ health, excuse me. So that's kind of the idea of flanking maneuver. We got Raging Fell Screamer for our demons to reduce the cost of those. Need for Greed, obviously being able to, a 3-man to draw 3 is really solid. Sigil of Reckoning, putting 1 in, because I don't feel like we need a ton of this. I don't think it's the greatest card, but we could cheat out one of these larger demons, that'd be great. Carry a Fell Soul for possibly getting, I mean, honestly, any of the options are pretty good. So if you can get a 6-mana 6/6 rush, and then after your hero attacks an enemy, this attacks 2, so play it on 7. You could possibly do 12, you know, well, do 6 damage to the face and then 6 to something else. We've got Taint Heart Tormentor, so we're making their spells even more useless with Taunt. Ancient Voidhound, obviously, if they have a bunch of smaller guys on the board, it's a way to deal with them. And then Pit Commander, pulling out a bunch of them too. So, I mean, overall, I think this is actually a decent deck. I don't know how it's going to perform when it comes to the meta. I think it's going to be a little bit faster, or it's going to be combo based, and the combo base is going to be basically the warrior that you'll see at the end. So overall, I think this is right around the middle of the pack, I think, for strength level compared to the rest of them. Next, we have our Beast Druid. So basically just playing a whole bunch of beasts, try to cheat stuff out. Nothing too crazy. So Lightning Bloom obviously helps cheat things out. Nature's Study, might as well discover stuff and make our spells cost less. And our main spell that we're looking at cost less is Nourish. So we can ramp up to the higher stuff, get our guardian animals out, stuff like that, right? But we've got Frostwolf Kennel. I think this is actually a pretty good spell, like, because you don't have to attack with the wolf, so you can just leave them there, and then like just leave them there and then arbor up on them. So some decent ideas. Also Heart of the Wild, another little buff that you can do as well, you know, getting +2 onto whatever you choose, and then +1, so +3 onto whatever beast are on the board, you know, whatever beast you target. And then Pathmaker and the Pride Seeker, the 2 only ones that we don't have that are beast. And this is just synergy for our Nourish mainly. if we find something else, which would be from our nature study, that could possibly happen as well. But for as of right now, it's mainly just for the nourish. That's about it. Because Pride Seeker, you want to play this on 3. This is a later game. And then we have our Dire Frostwolf. Obviously, makes sense. I mean, a 4-mana 4/4 and summon the 2/2 wolf. Definitely not bad. Thick-Hide Kodo for a little bit of defense and some armor. Wing Commander Mulvric. So this is mainly for, you know, guardian animals, or whatever we have on the board. If we're able to trade into things, keep our 2/2s kind of around. Can get some really good value with this card, I think. But this is probably the card that is most likely to be cut, I think, if it doesn't work out well. So something to keep in mind. This is our OTK stuff. Our finisher, I should say. Teacher's Pet, obviously defense plus, you know, stickiness. Twilight Runner for running out of cards to draw. Nourish for drawing and ramping, which is, you know, really insane. Frost Saber Matriarch is a 0-mana 4/5 with taunts, essentially. So everybody loves that. And Guardian Animals, obviously, as I said, pulling out any of these. Guys is solid. I mean, realistically, you're essentially pulling out Dire Frostwolf, Thick-Eyed Kodo, Teacher's Pet Twilight Runner, and I don't know if Frost Saber Matriarch will be pulled. It might, but either way, it's fine. And then we also have our final card is Ram Commander, the only neutral. And this is just 2-mana 2/2 that gives you 2/1/1 Rams in your hand with Rush. So just some more beast stuff. I actually think this is kind of middle of the pack as well. I think that it has some uses. It might be a little bit stronger than I'm thinking, but I would say I think this is stronger than the Death Rattle Dream Hunter, but I'm not sure how much. But let's go into Hunter though and talk about this. So I think this is actually probably one of the worst decks I made. I just kind of threw it together. I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. So I basically did it with Wing Commander Ickman, which I don't think is a good card, but just trying to come up with some ideas, right? So we basically have just one Guardian Animals, one Wing Commander, because there are some large beasts that we want to pull out, such as Mountain Bear, and we also have Stormpig Battle Ram. Obviously, the Humongous Owl is for the Wing Commander Ickman, not for the Guardian Animals that won't get pulled. Cormelius Rome, just something random to draw cards. Talion Forward Ring to draw out the Wing Commander Ickman specifically. And then we also have Beastock or Tavish, just for some value for Animal Companion and the Secrets. I really don't think there's much synergy there. Or like the Blood Rager, just as a random Death Rattle, mainly because of Monstrous Parrot. The Monstrous Parrot, kind of why there's a whole bunch of random Death Rattles in here. Northshire Farmer is just to throw in some beasts that maybe we'd want. I mean, you know, Humongous Owl, obviously that Death Rattle's insane. The Mountain Bear even is really good. So, you know, even Stormpig Battle Ram, honestly, is really solid. So if we can hit any of those, those are good. Revive Pet works great with any of them. Obviously, the only thing we don't want to hit are the cubs from the Mountain Bear, but I don't think that's something we should worry about too much. Overall, though, I mean, it's just like one aimed shot because of our Barracuda Bane. So we just threw in some other stuff. So we're basically pulling two revive pets, aim shots for our 3 slots, 2 scavengers, ingenuity, 1 pack tactics for 2, and then just carrying studies for 1. And it's because it reduces the cost. Give us some other options for Death Rattles. Bloodseeker, I just think is a solid weapon. So I threw it in there. There's a chance that it can just keep kind of scaling up. Selective Breeder to give us just a random beast that we want, a copy of, and I didn't realize they actually got buffed. And what did I miss also talk about? I think Ivus the Forest Lord. Honestly, if you just play this at like turn 4, you're probably gonna get some decent value at least. So yeah, this is probably the weakest deck that I made, so keep that in mind. Next, we're going to go to our big freeze spell mage. So here's the plan. We're trying to generate a bunch of random cards, mainly spells. So we're trying to generate the it's mainly like a Rune of the Archmage. That's what I'm kind of trying to look for. As many of those as I could possibly get. And we're trying to do that with Battling Book, Wand Thief. We also have through a Conjurer. And I think that's it for... Oh, and Venomous Scorpion. Those are kind of our, card generations for spells. All right. Then we have Shivering Sorceress to reduce the cost of our highest spell in our hand. So, mainly Rune of the Archmage. But whatever else that we hit is fine too. Amplified Snow Flurry, just freeze something, because we are trying to slow the game down so we can kill them with random meme spells. Astromancer, Solarian, kind of same thing. Just or that, you throw down and then all of a sudden you start casting random spells. Celestial Inkset, we do have a lot of high cost spells, so could reduce the cost of them. Might as well. Deepwater Invoker, I mean, realistically, the lowest amount of armor we're going to gain is 5, and we could possibly gain 9. And then we have our complete freeze of Varden Dawngrasp. Absolutely love this card. Arcane Overflower is a good solid card to have some, a body out there and kill something. Belinda Stonehearth, I mean, worst case scenario is you draw an Arcane Overflower twice and you end up with a 6 mana 5/5 that drew 2 cards, excuse me. So I don't think that's that bad. And then we have Jandis Barov, just a random card that's solid, good stats, it's a good card in general. Mask Thune, actually don't think this is that bad, being that we're going to be able to possibly play Grey Sage Parrot, and obviously if we can get this down to a 5 cost, deal 10 damage random split, not bad. With the Grey Sage Parrot, it'd be pretty nice, I think. Then we also have Magister Dawngrasp, which if we can play Mask Thune again along with whatever else we generate too. So and like Arcane Overflower, and then whatever we generate from the Battling Books and the Wand Thief and stuff. So there's a chance you can get all of the spells. Obviously the bad thing is Rune of the Archmage does not have any spell school. So, but we really want to hit Grey Sage Parrot with Rune of the Archmage. That's kind of the main idea here. And then one Rustdraw Viper, because I think weapons might be a thing. So yeah, overall I think this one's decent. I'm probably thinking this might be, as of right now, I think the Druid's the strongest one. Probably realistically, probably Death Rattle Demon Hunter is next, then this Mage, and Hunter is the worst. Move to Paladin, which this is just like a stall Paladin. So I think this needs a lot of refinement, but as of right now, it's just kind of like big stall Paladin. So idea is we want to survive to late game, and then we're going to overwhelm them with value. So don't know how useful that is going to be with our with aggro being the way it is. Mainly Pirate Warrior I'm worried about. But the main thing I thought is the movable object. The fact that we take half damage from now on with that weapon makes me really excited. So basically Blessed Goods for some versatility if we need a weapon, a secret, a weapon, or a minion. So there we go. Hand of a Doll, just to draw some of all of the minions are very powerful, so we might as well grab that. And mainly if we can get Satan the Scarlet, that would be the best optimal person to hit. We've got Snack Run to discover some spells, so if we need anything to heal or just stall out, yeah, plus healing up, nothing bad there. Fatality Surge, drawing a minion, plus healing, obviously really nice. Plus healing, synergize with Protect the Innocent, so kind of why we looking for heals. So Vitality Surge, we wanted, I mean, realistically, if we hit anything, it's fine. We just need to heal a little bit, so I think 3 is completely fine. 2 mana, heal for 3, and draw a card is not bad. But obviously, there's a chance we heal for 8 and draw a card for that card, so... Hold the Bridge, we threw these in because if you hit Satan the Scarlet, you're able to heal, plus you're getting +4/+2 on top of that. Divine Shield, not bad at all. And if you can hit anything also, I mean, literally anything would be... So then we have Righteous Defense. We have a bunch of guys, anything, you know, if we could set a large, like if we're playing against Handlock or something large, I guess in general, where they're playing big minions, setting an 8/8, we'll just use an example, down to 1/1 is really powerful. Being able to buff something, obviously, as we've said, Satan the Scarlet is the best option, but literally anything in hand will be perfect for us. And I don't, you know, I think it's pretty good. I already talked about Satan the Scarlet. Barricade, because we don't really have any minions other than 1, and that's probably being saved until later on. So, Satan the Scarlet, we at least want to get a buff or something on this. So I'm looking at minimum to play this, unless we get Hand of Vidal on it. I don't see us playing it right at 3, but possibly we would play it on turn like... Oh gosh, so let's see here, 3, so technically we could, I guess, play it on 4, but it's doubtful too. I'd probably say you're looking at least turn 6 to play Satan the Scarlet, so Barricade really is fine. Consecration for the aggro, small minions. True Silver Champion, this is the main combo here that I'm thinking works best. True Silver Champion, you kill something, then on turn 4, turn 5, you attack something else, you get your heal off, and then you play Protect the Innocent, so you get 10/10 worth of taunt stats on the board, split between 2 minions. Really solid. I like that a lot. I think this True Silver Champion makes a huge comeback for this. Wealth Redistributor, so a 5-mana 2/8 with Taunt and Battlecry, swap the attack of the highest and lowest attack minion. So obviously if you're playing against aggro, there's a chance that you swap, but realistically I don't see you playing against something that has like a bunch of 1/1s. And if you do, just don't play it at that point, wait until you clear it out. So I'm thinking you play this, even if you swap it with your own guys, having this guy instead would be pretty nice. So I don't mind it much. We already talked about Lake Forge Carriel, and then we have Brass Wing. So obviously if we're able to kill anything with the AoE of dealing 2 damage, we get to restore 4 health to our hero. Really solid. Just good overall. I mean, it doesn't even have to do the honorable kill. I think it's solid. Temporal Captain, this is probably the best card, I think, for right next to Lightforge Carriel. One of the reasons why I built this is because of Protect the Innocent, Lightforge Carriel, and Templar Captain. An 8-mana 8/8 with Rush and a 5/5 that with Taunt that comes out afterwards. It's really hard to deal with, so absolutely insane. Talon Forward Ring once again makes its appearance because it's in like so many decks for me. Being able to mainly draw any of these large guys, solid. And then here's a surprise for you guys. Ice Hoof Protector, a 2/10 taunt with freeze. So this is not good for against the meta of, you know, control, but against a I would say, you know, the aggressive decks or the combo stuff, I think this actually does decent. And Ice Hoof Protector, I think fits in well, especially if we're able to buff it up with our hero power from Lightforge Carriel, which gives +4/+4 to a minion. So it realistically anything just becomes solid. So I'm pretty excited about this deck. I think this might be so being realistic, like this is one of the ones I'm most excited about, but I think the Druid is probably better than this. So I would say this is second best out of the ones that I've made so far. Next, we're moving into Zoo Priest. So this is an interesting one. So I basically made this kind of centered around this Bless spell. So if we can get out a Frazzled Freshman, this was just the idea. Played Frazzled Freshman, get a 1-mana 1/4, and then after that you play Bless on top of it. You then get a on turn 2 a 6/6 that can smash him in the face. Definitely not bad. And then on turn 3 you can play something like Dragon Maw Overseer and just continuously buff stuff. So anyways, let's just get to it. So our one guys that we're looking at early on, we've got Frazzled Freshman, Imprisoned Homunculus, which is a little bit delayed but still a really solid card. Void Touch Attendant, because we want to do a little bit of extra damage with our guys. Iris the Forest Lord is also one, because I think if we need something, like we draw something late game, this is perfectly fine for that. And those are our 1-drops. 2, we have a 1 of for Cultiran Chaplain, excuse me. Obviously you've got Bless, and 1 of a Luminous Geode, just because these two I don't know. There's a chance that you might want more a second one of these, the Chaplains, or second Geode, depending on how the game's playing out. I kind of like the Geode just because if you pull it with Drekthar, then maybe you're able to do Hero Power and heal something up and then get something else. I don't know. It's just random ideas, right? So being able to have more attack, because we're kind of an aggressive deck, I think is decent. And it's not really too likely that you're going to have more than 2 Blesses. I mean, there's a chance, but probably not. You're going to thrive here, thrive in the shadows, just to be able to try to find Bless a little bit more consistently. Obviously, Dragon Maw Overseer is super insane for just buffing up stuff overall, especially when you're playing Rally. I absolutely love it. And I think that one of the main guys you want to hit for, and obviously Injured Blade Master is really good too to hit with Rally, but we'll get to that. Palm Reading, this is a way to actually generate more Blesses. And just reduce some spells. I mean, we don't have too many, but it's a way for us to try to find some other cards that could buff us up, guys that we have, or even take out something. So it's probably one of the cards that could be cut early. Stormpike Aid Station. So because we want to gain this tempo early on, a way for us to actually keep them alive as long as possible is to just have them constantly gain more health. So Stormpike Aid Station, while not really great, it's pretty slow. You know, if we have an Injured Blade Master is actually kind of tough to deal with, especially if it's been healed up or you played Rally the turn before. So there's a chance that you do Rally, you've got a bunch of stuff on the board, and then you play Stormpike Aid Station the next turn, and whatever else, right? So I just like the idea. Once again, I think these are the 2 cards that you could try to swap some stuff out. Really talked about Rally, so the main guys you want to hit are, I would say, Injured Blade Master and Dragon Maw Overseer are the 2 main 3s. Devouring Ectoplasm, though, is not bad. So a 3-mana 3/2 with Death Rattle summoning a 2/2 is definitely not a terrible thing. Then our 2-drop that we want to hit, I would actually probably say it's probably the Luminous Geode, which is, I think, the main reason why I threw it into the deck. And our 1-drop, really any of them is fine, because none of them really stand out. Ivus is probably the worst one to hit. And then Drekthar obviously pulls out 2 minions, throws them on the board for free, has even more aggression for you, right? Honestly, I think this is a solid deck. I don't know how amazing it's going to be, but I would probably say I think it's still worse than the Beast Hunter. And I kind of like my Stall Paladin more than it, so I would say it's like 3rd best right now. The chance, because it's aggressive, that it could be faster and work pretty well, but as of right now, I like the Stall Paladin. I think the Stall Paladin could hold out against this, possibly. Mainly with like barricades and stuff like that. So there's a chance. Plus you got Blessed Goods or whatever. Like I said, there's a chance. It'd be tough. It'd be a tough one. Because it actually might get out of control a little bit too fast if you get the Dragon Maw Overseer out there and whatnot. So you never know. I think it's pretty much like a tie between those two. I would say probably the Zoo Priest is actually better. Let's move into probably one of my favorite decks. It's up there. You know, my favorite ones are definitely Rogue, Paladin, Shaman, and maybe Warriors probably not. But anyways, this is a Death Rattle. I mainly just call it Korok Rogue. Because it's all centered around Korok the Blood Rager. So idea is we want to play sketchy information as fast as possible to then trigger the Korok the Blood Rager. Here's the thing, I didn't want to make it to where it's like a win or lose situation, so I made myself have an actual chance. So I threw in 2 other options. Well, technically there's 4 Death Rattle cards that it can hit. So the 4 cards would be Loan Shark, so for us to get there 2 coins, and the Infiltrator Lillian and Korok the Blood Rager, obviously. So the idea with hitting Loan Shark is if we can hit Loan Shark early on, because the dream would be preparation and do the sketchy information on turn 1. Then say if we hit the Loan Shark instead of our Korok. Or even Infiltrator Lillian. Infiltrator Lillian's probably the worst one, and I probably could say this could be cut, but I wanted to have just at least a shot, because I don't want sketchy information to be completely a waste. Because there is a chance, I mean, it's only 3 Death Rattle cards if you don't have her in there. So preparation into that turn 1, that's a dream. Then on turn 2, you can do coin into Cold Tooth Yeti for a 3-mana 4/5. Not bad. That's kind of one of my my thoughts early on. Or depending on things, there's so many options out there. Obviously, then you can double coin on turn 2 into your Korok or into your Lillian. So you know. Or Counterfeit Blade, I don't even know if this works right. So if we already triggered it, so there could be a chance that you could just play turn 2, boom, thrown out a 4-mana 4/2 weapon, and then start attacking and try to get whatever going off, more coins, more whatever. So let's just back it up a little. So we also have a little bit along with that. Along with the Death Rattle, we also have a little bit of a card generation of like another other class card generation. We have mainly just Parlay to hopefully mess up some combo stuff, and we really don't have a ton of stuff to do early on if we don't have one of the early cards. And then we've got Swashbuckler and Wand Thief. Those are main ones. I don't even know how to say this. The Death Rattle card, that's 2-mana spell. Discover a Death Rattle minion from another class, and it costs 2 less. This one as well. So we got a whole bunch of them. And then we have our Double Agent. Double Agent, I think, is stupid strong, and it's a card you have to kind of run. The other ones are also powerful, but this is basically a 3-mana 6/6. So we also, let's back it up a little bit, have Forsaken Lieutenant to play, and then we can throw down, like I said, any of our Death Rattle guys. So specifically, Korok the Blood Rager is the main guy. And hopefully, I mean, you know, there's a chance that you get some random decent Death Rattle card from the spell that gives you a random one from another class. We threw in 1 Shenanigans once again to mess with some combo stuff. I actually kind of like it. I think I might throw in another one, try to find a spot to throw it in there. But Cold Tooth Yeti, like I said, with the coin generation that we have a good chance of generating, especially if it goes second, we're going to be able to have on turn 2 a 4/5 out there. So I really like that as well. We already know Loan Shark. I mean, 3-mana 3/4. Give them a coin, but we're getting 2, and that's mainly what we're looking at. Snowfall Graveyard. This is mainly so we can try to have even more Korok the Blood Ragers for them to deal with. I think get out of hand, so I really like it. Bad thing is if we get too many coins, then it can be annoying a little bit too. Counterfeit Blade, like I said, more Corrupt Blood Ragers, that's the dream. But even if you get these Forsaken Lillians, it's not bad. Cap's Cutter Butter, since we're gonna have so many coins, I think coin out on 3 mana 3/3 essentially, because you're playing a coin, and then you have 3 less stuff. You know, everything costs 3 less. You can do whatever. I mean, you play Sketchy Information, you can play Snowfall Graveyard for free, you can play a Lone Shark, you play a Double Agent, you can play a Cold Tooth Yeti for free. There's a bunch of stuff, right? So I think it's worth actually playing. Was one of my favorite cards when it was released back in the day. Janus Barov, just a solid guy, and plus I think it actually activates the Double Agent as well. So something to look into. And then Shadowcrafter Scabs, just a vanish with 2 4/2 shadows. So, and then obviously the Dream Correct Blood Rager, which is going to be the one legendary I'm crafting golden if I don't open it from the pre-order. So I think this is actually the strongest deck that I've made. So this is probably the first deck I'm playing, so we'll see. Next up, we have the Free Shaman. So even though I think it's kind of a meme, I actually like it a lot. So let's go over this. We've got double guidance because we're trying to find even more frost spells, but in general, just anything to kind of stall the game and hold us, you know. So say if we need a extra lightning storm or whatever, realistically, just looking for that versatility. That's a good flex spot, and you can get 2 cards for it too. Wind Chill, obviously playing pretty much every frost spell, so freezing a minion and drawing a card is really solid. Auction House Gavel is to mainly reduce the cost of our Baron and Glacier, so if we can do that, that'd be great, right? And then we have a Frostbite, so obviously Frost Spell, playing it, and obviously if we can get the Honorable Kill, it's even better. Sleepbreaker gives us another Frost Spell of Wind Chill, which is a really solid one. Brilliant Macaw, if we can repeat the Baron Glacier battle cry, it's absolutely insane. I mean, it's stupid, it's strong. So that's the dream. Worst case scenario, I guess, is we play Snowblind Harpy or something, and we need another extra 5 armor. So I mean, it's literally the same card, right? So that's a little worse, but it's technically the same card if we need more armor, right? Drawing a spell is also an option. So there's definitely some choices here. Cheese Snowballed is one that I think is decent, but there's a chance it could be cut. I don't know how well it's going to do. I mean, you're basically looking at a 4 damage to all for 6 mana with 4 cards. 2 cards, excuse me. I don't know. We'll see how it works out with Snowball Fight. I really like the 2 together, but it might not be worth it. Then again, Cheese Snowballed just with a Wind Chill of smack somebody for 3 damage for 4 mana with a 3/4. Not bad. So we'll see how it works out. He could be somebody that gets booted though. Lightning Storm, I gotta have something out there to deal with the aggressive cards, right? They're aggressive decks, so that's in there. Like I said, Snowball Fight, it's also good stalling, holding out the fort. Canal Slogger is our healing and dealing with some larger minions. Glaciate is the one of Frost spell because I don't know, I'm not sold on it. It could be something that we slap another one in here. There are some A-Class cards that are decent, but at the same time, some aren't that good either. That's kind of why I could see us cutting that as well. Baron Glacier, as we already talked about, is the main thing. Brukan of the Elements, just a really powerful hero, so I think this is going to be played in pretty much all Shamans from now on. I talked about Snowblind Harpy, early game, plus being able to gain 5 armor. Herald of Lokholar we need for the cross spells. Stormpike Marshal, if we are going against aggro, is the perfect counter. I think this card's absolutely nutty. So it could help counter against it. And then tail in Fordering to try and draw Barren Glacier as much as possible. So, as I said, tail in Fordering and Warlock are the two main dudes that I always kind of I'm going to be rolling with for the most part. I think this is pretty good as well, honestly. I'm going to say this is probably the third best deck. I think the Druid might be a little bit better. I think it's the Rogue Druid and then this free Shaman act. So we'll move on to another Death Rattle one, which is Death Rattle Warlock. So it might seem a little bit weird, but it's because, once again, Korok the Blood Rager isn't. But the idea is Tamsin Phylactery, and we want it to be on every single minion, so we got a bunch of small ones. So we got stuff like we got imps, we got demons, along with we have the soul fragments, and on top of that we have the rifts. We're trying to have as many minions as we possibly can have on the board that is not interfering with our chances to discover the Korok the Blood Rager Death Rattle. So, but we did want to have more than just one. So as of right now, trying to look quick at what else we have for Death Rattles. So we do have a Hull Breaker, which I think could be reduced down to 1, because it kind of scares me. Having this one be the card, one of the cards to discover. But 4 mana for 3 and drawing a spell and Battlecry and Death Rattle. So we're mainly doing that just to try to tutor out Tamsin's Phylactery, but we'll see what happens. And then we also have Nerubian Egg, because if we make everything have dies and create a 4/4, it's not bad. And Devour Ectoplasm is by far one of the worst ones to have, but I guess if we're like, here's the thing, we're discovering 3 options. There's really not a chance that we're gonna be choosing that one. It's probably either gonna be we're choosing Nerubian Egg or Korok the Blood Rager. One of the two are happening, so that's kind of why I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, if we technically removed the tutor, we'd be fine, or Devouring Ectoplasm. But my thought is, with Sacrificial Summoner, we can hit the Devouring Ectoplasm, have a 2/2 come on the board after we kill it, and also possibly Korok the Blood Rager onto the board. So that's kind of the idea. So like I said though, honestly, and pulling anything with Sacrificial Summoner is just solid in general, so I'm happy with that. We got the Spirit Jailers for obviously the Soul Fragment stuff, and Drain Soul to heal a little bit. Seeds of Destruction, obviously creating they're 3 mana 3/3s, by the way. Throw them into the deck, and when they come onto the board, we're able to, if we have already played Tamsin Phylactery, this word is weird, but it might be a 3 mana 3/3 that dies and makes a 4/4, or Korok the Blood Rager, which is really nutty, obviously. Soul Shear creates more fragments and deals with damage. Cabal Outfitter. Oh, this is another option. I didn't realize this. Another good option, but now it's scaring me into thinking I should get rid of Devouring Ectoplasm. So there's a chance I might do that. That'll be later on down the road though. Lucky Soul Hoarder for the Soul Shards plus drawing a card if we can get the Corrupt off. Minari Mosher, obviously, to get lifesteal to heal us up in case we're hero powering and just targeting any demons. Shadowlight Scholar, obviously, really solid, dealing 3 damage with a 3 mana 3/4. Dreadlich Tamsin, obviously putting the rifts into our deck and drawing through cards, really good for us as well. And Sociologist Alicia is Alicia, I think it's how you say it. All those 3/3 souls also are good targets for our Sacrificial Summoner. And on top of that, like I said, all of those 3/3s could have all those Death Rattles. I think it's pretty solid. I think there's some stuff that could be adjusted here as well. And as of now, I'd probably say this overtakes the free shaman, so probably the third best as of right now. And our final one, which is going to be our OTK warrior, which I'm going to tell you right now, I think this is a version of this will be the best deck, and you're going to be looking at ways to try to counter this. So a little bit annoying. We'll see what happens, but I'm not really excited about seeing this, but I created it, so here's what we have. Essentially anything we possibly can to gain armor as much as we possibly can. And the OTK is basically you play to the front twice for 4 mana, and then everything costs 4 less. And then we play a Captain Galvangar for 6, which, well, 2 mana, which is a 9/9 with charge. And then, so that would be 6 mana right there. Then a 1 mana Faceless Manipulator for another 9/9. And then another 2. Where are you? Another 2 mana for Battleground Battlemaster for Wind Fury on them to deal 36 damage. So 36 damage for 9 mana with a bunch of cards. So the idea is to draw and stall as much as you can until you get to the combo. So what do we have for the combo stuff? The Frozen Buckler gives us our activation really easily, and plus we have 1 Shield Shatter in order to deal with some of the aggressive stuff. So 5 damage to all minions is pretty solid. On top of that, Harvest Scamp is a little bit card draw, Minefield, dealing damage, clearing out the boards early on. The front, obviously, it's combo stuff. Blade Storm, AoE plus could deal with some larger minions. Heavy Plate is our armor and stalling out so we can live a little bit longer. Outrider's Axe is to clear off the little guys, plus being able to draw cards. Brawl deals with the small board. Stone Maul Anchorman to draw some cards and have a little bit of body, plus you draw that with Harbor Scamp. Obviously no Galvangar is our OTK. Rokara the Valorous, just a decent hero, getting the 5 armor, getting the 5/2 Unstoppable Force, and our hero power becomes deal 2 mana, deal 2 damage, and if you kill something with exactly 2 health, you get 4 armor. I don't think we're gonna have any issues getting to that 15 armor at all. So we're gonna talk Shield Shatter, and then Armor Vendor gives us 4 armor. So we're not worried about their armor. We're gonna ping them down at least a little bit here and there. Herald of Lokara, so being able to draw those frost spells, specifically Frozen Buckler mainly to, get our 10 armor. Stormpike Marshal, if they're hitting us, we're gonna plop down a 1 mana 2/6 taunt. And finally, our Talent Forward Ring is going to draw at minimum a Battleground Battlemaster or our Captain Galvangar, because those are our 2 highest cost and they're part of our OTK, so we need them. Yeah, I think this is probably the strongest deck. I think this is what we're going to be seeing out there, because you have a lot of stall and you're going to just smash them in the face. I think this card is getting nerfed pretty fast, so yeah. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what deck you think is gonna be the strongest. Show me your pre-constructed decks before the expansion, excuse me. I will see you in the next episode. Yeah.